In England, in my opinion, there are only 6 black men that just ooze charisma. Ooze it. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Kaluuya, Damson Idris, Idris Elba, Oreola Koga. Yes, I put myself on the list. I don't care. I put myself on the list. Have you seen me? Have you seen me? Respect. Respect.
Respect, man. Respect.
And the final person on that list is a certain individual called Michael Ebenezer Kwadwo Amari Ua Jr., or more commonly known to you and I as Stormzy. Yeah, the way that I butchered his name feels a little bit racist. Just a little bit racist. It's kind of like that supply teacher in school when an African name comes up in the register and they start struggling and they're like, I think I'm going to struggle with this one. Is Kwajojo here? Aye, shout out to all the Africans with the long names, man. Anyways, back to Stormzy. Whether you like him or not, whether you know anything about black music or not, Stormzy is a household name in Britain, and he's arguably one of the most influential and famous people in the entire country. Deep this year, in 2019, Stormzy endorsed the then Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn in the general election, and on that same day, voter registration spiked by 236%. And if we're breaking that down, that is nearly 150,000 people under the age of 25 registering to vote in one single day. One day. Do you know how mad that is? You have to remember, this is a black brother from South Norwood. I have never seen levels of this influence before, ever.
Oh, Jeremy Corbyn. Hey! Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey, hey!
In 2022, we see Stormzy with the glitz and the glamour, the Glastonbury and the gang signs. But like many things in life, none of this happened overnight. Stormzy didn't just wake up one day and boom, he was this international superstar owning it. Nah, through numerous setbacks and in a clear, calculated plan, he created the perfect storm and then let the rain fall on his enemies. So, in these next 2 episodes, I'm not only going to focus on how Stormzy became one of the most successful black artists to ever come from these shores, but more importantly, I want to focus on how Stormzy became the most influential voice of a generation.
Do you know what it is? Yeah? It's not even the fact that I'm underrated or the fact that I'm being slept on. It's the fact that people don't think I'm a threat. Do you understand? People don't think that I'm one to be looked out for, one to be watched. And that's when it becomes a problem. That's when I have to rise up and become a problem. You understand? Because last year I put out some unprecedented.
I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah. Out of all of the episodes and all of the videos I've recorded in this series so far, this is the one that I've been looking forward to the most. I'm not gonna cap here. I'm actually a very, very big Stormzy fan. There's something about him that I find so captivating and so fascinating. And he's also got a very endearing personality. But now that I'm here, even though I have written the script for this, I don't really know where to start, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna take us back to the 18th of June, 2011, and I'm gonna show you the first ever video Big Mike uploaded on YouTube.
These old 10 gangsters wanna flex like they're about it. I jumped on rap and lost my grind flow, so I got super gas when I found it. I told my client, look like you and I trust you, so I won't even count it.
This video is so funny, yeah, because Stormzy looks 18 and 32 at the same time. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense. And looking back at this specific video, it's so sick because you can actually map the progression in his career right from the very first YouTube video on his channel. You see, when Stormzy uploaded this video, the musical landscape for black artists in this country was very, very weird. And I've discussed this in other episodes, but this was at a time where the likes of Tiny Tempo were just cleaning up at the Brits. And black music was in this super diluted place, and all of the black artists were making these really horrible, terrible pop songs. Skepta, I'm sorry. Skepta, I'm sorry, I know I've played this video millions of times now, but I'm gonna have to bring this video up once again. Yeah. It's funny that I mentioned Skepta actually, because he is obviously one of the key players in grime music, and alongside the likes of the Flirter D's and the Lethal Bizzles, the Dizzy Rascals and the Wileys of the world, LOL, these guys were all major influences to a young Stormz who was still very much at the beginning of his career. And you can say he was not only just a fan, but he was very much a student of grime, absorbing, watching and studying absolutely everything.
So Wiley is the figurehead of what we do. He's started this.
He's considered the king of the grime culture.
He's the godfather. He's
Okay.
more culturally important than being like the king of a genre. He is grime. Like when you look.
Oh, by the way, quick disclaimer. I think I should throw this in here. I don't actually know Stormzy, so don't take everything I say in this video as gospel. Pun very much intended. I mean, I have done a lot of research. I've read his book. I've listened to his music, and I've dissected a lot of articles and think pieces around Stormzy's career. So yeah, take everything that I say in this video with a pinch of salt. But back to the script. Like many young black men, and white men to be fair, in fact, all men, because all men matter. For those that don't understand and can't detect sarcasm, that was a joke, okay? I'm not trying to get cancelled. Like many young men, Stormzy had aspirations of being a rapper. And unlike a lot of them, if not 99.9% of them, he actually made it and turned out pretty successful. This is gonna sound mad shady, but I'm gonna keep it real. This is what I do. I gotta keep it real, man. We have a problem in our community. And when I say our community, you know what I'm on about. The community knows what I'm on about. We have a problem in our community. Everyone thinks they can make it out the hood as a rapper, and quite frankly, a lot of them just don't have the talent, which is fine.
Face is big, the hood is big. I'm been brought by the coffee shop, and he's telling me the block is hot. I'm on Twitter trending live, for my class is spreading live.
If you can't rap, and if your bro can't rap, tell him to go work in Forex or something, because it's okay. Music is not for everyone. Music's not for everyone. Which is ironic, yeah, because I don't actually think Stormzy's early music was that good, to be honest. Like, I thought it was okay. I don't think it was great. But the one thing that I did love about him is that his self-belief was way through the roof. He strikes me as someone that genuinely does not care what anyone thinks about him. And that was one of the first things that I noticed that set him apart from his peers.
Said that I was dead, but now I've risen from the grave. Pissed now, they had to let the villain out the cage. Unsigned stars, man, shut that down. But big up Dee Dee, she did her thing up on the stage.
So, a couple years have gone by now. Tiny Temper is still screaming out, yeah! Somewhere in Scunthorpe. Tim Westwood is celebrating his 60th birthday for the 15th time. And Stormzy is just mashing work, you know, putting out video after video after video. By the way, I've got to leave a man of Tim Westwood's age alone now. You know, I've got to leave a man like him alone. Hopefully, you know, he's had his second jab for the COVID vaccination, because he is in the high risk age group and them things there. So hopefully he's all double vaxxed up. Because if he catches Rona, it might be curtains for him. If Tim Westwood catches Corona, he's going out like Prince Philip. I'll tell you that for free. Anyways, I want to skip a couple years and head over to this video.
Sorry about that. We just recorded this about a couple hours ago, and now it's in your face. So enjoy it. You better fucking like it.
That to me about work rate, tell the MC nigga try keep up. Tell the MC nigga try keep up. Tell the MC nigga don't be fooled. I was on the strip with a shank and a pack full of piff, man. You was getting slapped through school.
By this point, Stormzy had been building a very solid fan base. He'd released his debut mixtape and was becoming a bit of a problem in the music scene. Still not at superstar level, but you could see the hunger and desire was very much there. This was a man that was starving. He was starving, and there was nothing our Prime Minister Marcus Rashford could do about it. So stick with me on this, right? We're building a list of Stormzy's key qualities. And on that list so far, number 1, we have self-belief. Number 2, we have hunger and desire. And for number 3, I want to throw in the word consistency, because this man was everywhere, to the point where you could not avoid him. Kind of like N'Golo Kante in the middle of the park, dictating play. Red Bull Culture Clash, Marlboro Awards, and of course, that infamous Fire in the Booth cypher.
Yo, you niggas about to make me bug out. Clips in my lyrical sticks, I let her slug out. Logged onto my Twitter, niggas talking about Kendrick like I didn't drop some fire. I don't think that I let enough out.
A lot of people will probably say that Shut Up was the moment in Stormzy's career, but I would actually say it was this Fire in the Booth. You could tell that this was a man that just wanted it. And even from the reaction that he got in the room, you could tell that you were witnessing something that was a little bit different and something that was, to be honest, really special. Bearing in mind as well, there were some well-respected rappers in that room, but this Stormzy guy just came in and commanded the stage like it was his playground.
Just warming up. Check it. Look. Man try flex, man got me moving like gets like dead him on sight, yeah, dumb man clap. They're doing better in the trap, but we're doing better in life, so fuck your raps. Kick off the door from the latch like it's easy to get up inside. Swear man, you old MCs need to leave it alone, cause you're not getting better with time, so leave it to us. Go look after your kids, I'll take over from here. I made more movements than half of these pricks and it didn't even take me a year. But a man tried to tell me to suck my mama said, wait brother, suck my who? Can't take Big Mike for some any old prick, don't ask why I touched that you, but anyway.
You old MCs need to leave it alone because you're not getting better with time. Leave it to us. Go look after your kids. I'll take over from here. How dare you? How dare you to do that? Do you know how sick that was? And do you know what it is for me, yeah? It was at that very moment, after reciting that very bar, I just knew he was going to be a superstar. I could see from a mile away that this guy was going to be a star because there was something about him, something about his aura. It was like a changing of the guard at the time. Now, before we get into Know Me From, before we get into Shut Up and Gang Signs and Prayer and all of the rest of that, I want to focus on the next distinguishing quality that set him apart from everyone else. And that quality is his personality.
I can't swear on radios. You just bleep it out.
So, party, where are you going tonight to party?
Oh, I don't know. But I'm going to own it. And how to control it. Go ahead, let's get higher. And you roll it. Nah, man, you gotta have a laugh. It's the Brit Awards.
Yes.
Bro, I want to say this right now, yeah. Rappers are the most boring people in the world. They are so boring to the point where I would rather listen to paint dry. Not watch paint dry, listen to paint dry. So any rapper that had even a crumb of a personality and a tiny bit of talent to go with it could very easily garner an audience. And luckily for Big Michael, he had both of those things in abundance.
I just bought a frying pan, yeah? Come down with blood clot Stormz. Later, come on.
Oh my God, now that we're here actually, we haven't actually touched on this yet, but Stormzy is a man with many aliases. You know, there is Stormzy, his name. There is Big Mike. There is The Problem. There is Wicked Skangman, live in the flesh. And of course, there's Stiff Chocolate. It sounds really simple, but he's very much a down-to-earth and likable person. And when he was on social media, oh, Stormzy was the king of socials. He always had something to say, he always had an opinion, and he was somebody that never took himself too seriously. You see, a lot of artists want to create this illusion that they are super famous and far too cool to engage with their fans, when actually, in the long run, that method is really counterproductive. Because Stormzy was on Snapchat, being an everyday guy, doing cooking shows, he humanized himself and allowed people into his personality, which then made him more relatable. And as a result, now he's got some of the most loyal fans that will really and truly ride for him. As well as that, his personality is now translated into mainstream media really well as well. Even though this isn't necessarily his fault, he can play the lovable black guy really, really well. Like, he can go on the Graham Norton show and sit alongside Kevin Hart or Kevin Spacey or... Okay, maybe not Kevin Spacey, but he can go on a show like that and still command an audience just like he did on That Fire in the Booth.
How are you? I was drinking a bit, you know. It is like, this is a big sofa, man. You know what I mean? That's like a... Yeah. I'm going up in the world. Yeah.
So imagine right here, yeah, we've got a pot, and Stormzy is the pot. We throw some self-belief in there, then we add a little bit of hunger and desire. We give it a stir whilst adding in some consistency to the mix. And after that, we sprinkle a little drizzle of personality too. Sounds like a very decent mix to me. And the next ingredient that we want to add to this mix begins with the letter M. No, not Maya Jama, even though that does play a very important part of the narrative. But the M that I'm talking about stands for moments. Because I don't know how Stormzy does it, but every so often, this man pops up with a monumental moment.
Alright.
State your name, cuz.
Stormzy, innit?
And what we doing today?
Rapping, innit?
Yeah?
Fucking rapping, innit?
Yeah? Fire in the park. Let's go.
I can't lie, yeah. As I'm making my way through this episode, I feel like I'm low-key coming across as a bit of a beg. And I'm annoyed at the fact that I've just said that, because this beg friend mentality is actually what's holding back a lot of people in this country. Nobody wants to be seen as a fan of anyone else's work, and it's just really toxic. Everyone thinks they're more important than they actually are, when really and truly, we're just all deluded. Everyone's just deluded. I don't really know where I'm going with this, so I'm just gonna shut up and head back to the script. It's so mad, yeah, because I could put up a picture of a bright red tracksuit and I can guarantee the majority of people under the age of 30 will instantly think of Stormzy shut up. Instantly. And it's a win for Adidas, who I'm going to touch on a little bit later, but it's also obviously a win for Stormzy too. And shut up for me is a seminal moment in British music history. Yes, I'm back with the hyperbole, but it was a big moment. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but this freestyle catapulted him to a new level of stardom, to a level I don't think he even expected or anticipated himself. It was charming, it was witty, and it also paid homage to a legendary grime instrumental. Overnight, Stormzy had gone from backup dancer to one of the most famous artists in the country, just like that. There was even this slightly awkward ring walk performance before AJ's fight with Dillian White, which then propelled him even further into the public's conversation, and he did that all without compromising who he was.
Inside the building, my name is Stormzy, my name is the problem. Yo, man try to say he's better than AJ. Tell my man shut up. Man's been dealing like Beyblade. I rude boy, shut up. Better than AJ.
Now, we know how the rest of the story goes. After rallying his many adoring fans, Shut Up very nearly got the Christmas #1 for that year, but it just wasn't meant to be. However, it did peak at a very respectable #8 in the UK charts, giving Stormzy his first ever top 10 single. Now, I'm gonna hold off talking about Stormzy's debut album, Gang Signs and Prayer, for now, because we're gonna get onto that in the next video. But to bring this particular video to a close, I'm gonna mention 3 words to you. And those 3 words are Stormzy, Pogba, Adidas.
Couple young kings.
So remember how I was talking about moments a little earlier, and I think this one might just top the lot. But then again, this is a man that did go on to headline Glastonbury, so at this point I actually don't know what his biggest moment is. Anyways, influencer marketing or famous people being paid to endorse brands is nothing new, because all you gotta do is look at Lip Filler and Love Island Instagram, and I'm pretty sure you will find one of them trying to sell you a very shitty product. On my days, this reminds me of Sharif from a couple years back, and he got kicked off of Love Island actually. Yeah, obviously he got kicked out really early, so he wasn't able to secure the big boohoo man, the I saw it first man, or whatever it is with the fast fashion. But man was really out here promoting air fresheners and a hot sauce for the influencer bag. I respect it. Hustlers have to hustle. I'm not mad at it, but man, what a bum. What a bum. Brands know that they can profit from having a big name celebrity associated with them. And Stormzy and Adidas go hand in hand like OJ Simpson and gloves. Stormzy is so synonymous with Adidas that when I was actually doing research for this video, I stumbled across an old video, like a really old video of him wearing a Nike top, and it just felt wrong. Like, it felt so wrong. And yes, I said Nike because that's how it's pronounced. Or I could be very Yoruba if I want to and call it Nike, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. The fact that Adidas, a global international sportswear brand, called upon Stormzy to announce their then world record transfer fee for Paul Pogba, with him dabbing in the background to a grime freestyle, still blows my mind to this very day. You see, the UK is very different to America. The relationship between rappers and athletes has always been there, and there's always like this mutual respect between the two. However, in the UK, that hasn't always been the case, but it's most certainly changed over the last few years. This is what I mean when I say Stormzy came in the game and lapped everyone 25 times over. Now, even though I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm a proud Arsenal fan, supported Arsenal my entire life. And, oh, by the way, you're watching this video right now. You're watching and hearing me speak. I've actually recorded this video 2 months ago. So we're currently in November 2021. I don't know when I'm going to put this video out. So I don't actually know if I'm Arteta in or if I'm Arteta out. I don't even know if he's still in the job. All I know is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is probably still in his job because Ole's very much at the wheel, and long may it continue. We love seeing the downfall of Manchester United. Back to my initial point, despite what I've just said, I can actually admit that Manchester United are one of the biggest clubs in the world, alongside Real Madrid and Barcelona and Bayern Munich and the rest of them. So for Manchester United to trust Adidas to bring this 6-foot-something black rapper to announce their biggest ever signing and marketing campaign speaks absolute volumes of Stormzy's brand power. And you've got to remember, this is the year 2016 when this happened. He hadn't even dropped an album at this point.
It's the major that the majors when the sign. They used to pay me for my poppy, now they pay me for my rhymes. And most of these older rappers hate me on the slide, cause we achieved the same things, but it just took me half the time. Let's tell the truth.
This particular campaign arguably opened the door for more UK artists to link up with footballers and bridge the previous wide gap. Unlike Arsenal and Tottenham, because, oh come on man, I'm an Arsenal fan, I've got to get a sliding in there somewhere. Jesus Christ. Now that I'm here though, I'm actually writing a series about how black content creators revolutionize sports media. And if you want to see that, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button wherever it is, and I'm going to be dropping it on the channel real soon. So that's the first half of the Stormzy story from my perspective. Just a little overview, nothing major. And in the next video, we are going to break down just why Stormzy is more than an artist. We are going to discuss how Michael became one of the most important voices in modern day Britain. To this day, I don't know why white people, get offended by the word black. Like, if you mention the word around them, they start sweating like Ryan Giggs' brother at the family Christmas dinner. Shout out to everyone that got that reference.